The Age Group Pavilion here at Alliant Energy Center. It's the Reebok CrossFit Games version 2018. Masters bracket, women's 35 to 39. We're on to event number 9, the AG Chipper. Jeremy Austin, Joel Godet, Nikki Brazier is with us down on the floor. Glad you chose to spend part of your Saturday afternoon here with us. The standings have taken a turn a little bit. Anna Tobias is your leader. That has not changed. Helena Falk is in second, but what has changed, Jeremy? Samantha Briggs, right where you kind of expected to see her.
Surprise, surprise. In 13th position yesterday, and then come in with a 100-point win and stays in 13th, but she's slowly climbing her way back up and now clawing into that third place. 50 points back from Helena Falk and 176 back from Anna Tobias. And I'm sure that Sam is going to be loving this event. Event number 9, 30 deficit handstand push-ups with a 3-inch deficit, 40 deadlifts at 155 pounds, 50 calories on the Concept 2 bike erg, the first time they've seen this in competition at the CrossFit Games in the age division, and 60 bar-facing burpees, 30 in the first portion, roll the bar forward, 30 in the next, and they've got 16 minutes.
Helena Falk is in lane 10. Anna Tobias is your leader in lane 9. Kirsten Pedry was in the open division of the CrossFit Games a year ago. Check her out in lane 7. Jimena Delamere, the best regionals performer in this bracket. She was 9th in Latin America. She's in lane 13. But these are the two to watch. Anna Tobias, Sam Briggs.
Both in the individual competition last year. Now both are going head-to-head in the Masters division. The battle is on.
Deficit handstand push-ups to start it off. The 3-inch deficit.
Now, a couple of points that we want to get through while they can continue their handstand push-ups, that deficit handstand push-up. They want to get through these movements as fast as possible. They've got to go unbroken on their deadlifts. They've got 40 deadlifts to do, 20 in each section. Now, the weight for these ladies shouldn't be a drama at all. It's only 155 pounds. Now, on the bike, that is your only place out of the entire event to recover. So pacing the bike, really important, because at the back end, we've got 60 bar-facing burpees, and you're going to want to hurt. And we saw it this morning with Samantha Briggs. She did hurt, and she did come away with an event win.
The thing Sam Briggs said about it, too, is that she needs the points, so she's pushing. Your leader right now on the deadlifts, Jimena Delamere. Out of Buenos Aires in Argentina, we mentioned her 9th place finish at the Latin America Regionals. Sam Briggs now onto the deadlifts. There's some sort of motivation when points are out there, and Sam Briggs is the kind of person that just can turn that on. Listen, I need points. I'm a win.
It's like dangling a carrot in front of her, just going, come on, this is your sort of event, come and get it. And she is.
Rolls that bar forward. She has surpassed Jimena Delamere. Sam Briggs is your leader. Anna Tobias, lifting weight. How heavy is this deadlift? 155 pounds.
Oh, kilos, about 70-odd kilos. So it's not that heavy, considering it is the normal sort of standard. We go through a girls' workout called Diane. We've got 21, 15, 9 of deadlifts and handstand push-ups. This is the exact same weight. So they've just pretty much done a portion of the Diane workout.
Hand in the air for Renata Pimentel. And she will be the second athlete to the biker behind Samantha Briggs. Now watch the way Sam Briggs rides that bike to start it off. And that's one of the differences between the assault bike and the biker. You can ride it more like a true bike. The assault bike is hard to stand up on. The biker, you can.
And it's interesting what Sam Briggs is doing. She's hunched over a little bit, which is a little bit funny, because I thought she might relax those shoulders a little bit more, take less pressure off that elbow. She did have the elbow injury, but that allowed her to do more cycle work while she was recovering from that injury. The engine that Sam Briggs has got, this can say, little portion of the event, the 50 cal bike erg, is not going to bother her one little bit. And you can see her just getting that breathing controlled and getting into that zone, getting ready, looking up at the barbell because she knows what's coming. But if she can maintain this lead, she is going to close that gap between her and Anna Tobias. 176 points. And depending on where Anna finishes in this, we could have a very interesting Sunday.
Certainly not insurmountable. There's Tobias on the left. Just coming out of the swim, which Nikki has more on.
That's right. Anna Tobias was the first female out of the water on the 500-meter open water swim. Not entirely surprising. When we caught up with her yesterday, she said, obviously, you know, she's a sailor. She's very comfortable in and around the water. If she didn't swim, she didn't win the swim, rather, it would have been a big shock. Honestly, she told us she was more worried about catching some seaweed in the face than anything else. Clearly worked out for her well. Looking forward to seeing how she does in this event following the swim.
It would be concerning if she couldn't swim.
Oh, you'd be worried if you fell off the boat, wouldn't you?
Anna Tobias is the best sailor at staying in the boat. She did retire from sailing in 2014, back in 2017, looking for the 2020 Olympic Games. Sam Briggs, hot on her heels.
Still in that really hunched over position and keeping those elbows tight, as you did mention, but bracing that body and getting ready, because those arms are going to be doing a little bit of work with these burpees.
Well, again, you can ride the bike erg more like a true bike. Think about Tour de France. Everybody leans over the front of those handles. You can't do that on the assault bike with the handles moving. You'd knock yourself out. Briggs first to the burpees.
And before she got off the bike, the last couple of revolutions of the cycle, she took one really deep breath because she's not going to be able to recover any time throughout these 60 burpees. So Sam, a very interesting technique on the burpees. She's only got a couple of reps ahead of Anna Tobias, who's now moving on. But Sam dropping to the ground as soon as she gets onto her feet on the other side. So there's no snaking of that movement on the way down, so just dropping all the way down, which is cutting down the time that she's going to be doing this movement.
A lot of people hate burpees. I like them. So
I actually don't mind them either.
Yeah, I mean, I can't figure out how people get upset.
Well, they're not pleasant, but it's a good challenge. You've just got to go from point A to point B.
It's one of the more grunt workish things in CrossFit too. Anyone can do them. They're just a pain, and I think that's part of it.
Oh, it's all that mental strength sort of stuff that you've got to build as you go through different events, different workouts, different movement patterns, and just working out. Find your red line position and just be able to hold on. Sam Briggs on the left of screen, just having a walk back to the bike after the last couple of reps, just to have a little bit of a breather before she gets into the back end 30.
Sam Briggs has been on a tear. Second place in the open water swim behind Tobias. First in event number 7, first in 6, first in 5, first in event 4. That's how she's moseyed her way up from 13th to 3rd. She could make it another first place, which would all time pass her with Haley Adams in the individual across all divisions event win tally.
There's that name again. Benefit of being in front and having all of the ladies in one heat. You know where you're placed. So you know if you've rolled the bar forward. And Sam just taking another short break, just having a bit of a look around. And she's only probably got under 10 reps to go now. But now this is the place where it is going to start hurting. And it did hurt with the box jump overs earlier. Sam doing very well, second on the swim. And another break. This is not the sort of Sam Briggs you're used to seeing. It's normally pedal to the metal and get it done.
And she's left the door open for Anna Tobias, who has not broken on right of screen. Left of the picture in the white trunks. Helena Falk is in second place overall. She is in the red to the right of that box. Sam Briggs on her final couple of burpees. She is still ahead of Tobias. She has won again. The English engine. Lady Samantha with another win. That is a fourth event win this week. And Helena Falk, who came in second place, on the verge of passing Tobias for second place in this event. She will do just that. Tobias can limit the damage to the overall standings if she can finish up here, and her judge's hand is up. And her judge's hand is the only one up. So Tobias should get through in third place here and snatch up the 80 points that come along with it. That is indeed what happens. Tobias will be in first going into the final day of competition. But she's got the two other ladies that have finished hot on her heels.
Tell you what, it's going to make it for an interesting day tomorrow if Sam Briggs can continue these event wins.
Myra Brandt on the left of screen. Kelly Holm, fourth place on the right. 9:30, and Renata Pimentel comes in fifth. That ties for a best finish at the games for Pimentel. Sarah Scholl came in just behind her by hundredths of a second. Kirsten Pedri. You'll notice on the athletes too, and you see on Pedri's back, the amount of kinesio tape these athletes are wearing. And as this week turns into the weekend and it just drudges along, that can start to play a factor in terms of helping some of these athletes recover. Delamere, without it, has finished the event in ninth.
Recovery support, like, you've just got to make sure you can keep backing up event after event. I know the swim's not that taxing on your body, but after the leg fatigue they've gone through over the last couple of events, it starts to build up a little bit. So recovery really important.
What's it do? Because you'll see people wear it differently as well.
Support around the bicep, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that, but you see it often on the lower back. Sometimes people or athletes use the tape on the lower back instead of a weight belt. Sometimes on the hamstrings just to make sure to keep them intact.
Trojanowski in lane 8. The time cap for this event is 16 minutes. We're still 5 minutes away from that. And the former track athlete at Rice down in Texas, Teresa Trojanowski, complete. And we talked about that tape. There's more of it there, and that's more the traditional usage that we'll see. And there is a lot of it as it grows throughout
the weekend.
Throughout the weekend, yeah. Stabilization,
absolutely, just
recovery, blood flow, right?
Just more for your support for those muscles that are getting fatigued, especially after you've just done 40 fairly heavy deadlifts.
This is Delana Snyder. White Rock, British Columbia. Wants to fight, wants to be strong here. Her whole mission on this trip, to prove that you can do anything for her 9-year-old daughter. And she grits it out, shows that strength to close out the age group chipper. 4 minutes under the time cap. Sam Briggs, the win.
Are they kidding themselves? They have plowed through that chipper. I thought it was going to be a lot more grueling and enduring throughout that 16 minutes, but wow, that was just incredible. The start with the 30 deficit handstand push-ups, they didn't spend too long on that, but Sam, once she got onto the deadlifts, she didn't spend a whole lot of time getting those done. The bike, more so recovery than anything else, and the strategy for Sam Briggs going into the burpees was to get out in front, stay there, but manage the breaks and the fatigue as she went along. And I'm sure that did hurt just as much as the other win with the box jump overs, but stoked with another event win.
And again, for the fourth time, she's down with Nikki.
That's right. We've been doing this a few times in the last couple days. Well, I want to know, when you were in the end, that last set of burpees, we saw you sort of take a short break, walk around the bar, check left and right. I mean, when you're sort of at the very end of a very taxing chipper like this, what's going through your mind in those short breaks?
Obviously, I need the points, so I wanted the win. By those burpees, you're already in pain. So I wanted to push the pace enough without killing myself to go into tomorrow for the last day of competition. So it's kind of try and get some big chunks out of the way, have short rest, but just to try and kind of like recover in between and then push again.
You mentioned it is warm in here, and the people watching at home can't necessarily feel that. How does that impact you?
Definitely, like, especially when you get on the bike, you've got time to think, and you're like, drink would be kind of nice right about now. And then you know you've got all the burpees to do. So, but no, it was a fun one. I really enjoyed that one.
Way to push through. Congrats.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sam Briggs, another event win. I like how blunt she is. Listen, I needed points. Like, why do you think I won? I needed the points.
I don't want to do burpees fast enough that it's going to kill me. Yeah.
Take a look at the results. She wins. Helena Volk is in second place in both the event and the overall standings. Anna Tobias will hold her top in the overall standings with a third place finish. Good work by Renata Pimentel as well. Fifth place, her best finish of these games. Moving up in age group, 40 to 44 coming up next. Madison, Wisconsin, the capital city of Wisconsin, home of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Women's Masters Division, 40 to 44. We are on event number 9, the age group chipper. Jeremy Austin, Joel Godette, Nikki Brazier, our floor reporter. Glad to have you along with us here today. Take a look at how we got here with Stephanie Roy in second place as the champion, defending from the 35 to 39-year-old region a year ago. She was in first place until late yesterday when Kelly Friel caught her.
Kelly had a great afternoon yesterday out at the North Park with that first place finish. The rope and yoke. And we've seen a bit of differing results from Kelly Friel over the 8 previous events that have gone on. Joey Kimden still hanging around in that third place position as well. Event number 9. We've got 30 deficit handstand push-ups. These ladies at a 3-inch deficit. 40 deadlifts at 155 pounds. It's around 70 kilos. 50 calories on that bike erg from Concept 2. The first time these ladies will have used it in competition here at the Games. And a finish 60 bar facing burpees, 30 in the first, 5-foot box, 5 in the second. 16 minutes. They won't need it.
Kelly Friel in lane 10 as your leader. She can look left and right and see those immediately chasing her. Joey Kimden is in lane 9. In lane 11 is Stephanie Roy. All the way down to Melissa Wistrom in lane 20, and we've said it all week. We've seen people come out of nowhere in lanes 1, 2, 3, 17, 18, 19, 20, and steal events. Wistrom winning in this pavilion the last time we were here, but Kelly Friel has done a lot of winning in total this week.
She has. Her last 6 events have looked like this. 1, 2, 4, 1, 13th and 3rd. So that 13th in the jump finish, which was earlier on today, but that was the gymnastics portion with the muscle-ups. The handstand's going to be probably be the hardest portion of this. We know she's got clean and jerk record, so the deadlift shouldn't be a drama either.
Chip away, starting with the handstand push-ups. They're at a deficit with a 3-inch mat. Those are pre-stationed. The athletes not allowed to adjust those.
Positioning for the handstand, making sure those elbows are about 45 degrees. And a number of the ladies using those hips to propel themselves forward. It's called a kipping movement. It just enables you to get a little bit of momentum before you extend those triceps. Triceps probably still a little sore from the muscle-ups earlier today and from the swim.
Take a look at Katie Cruz in lane 4. Came into the event in 19th place overall, but watch for her to do some work here. She loves anything with gymnastics, and what a day she's already had. We didn't know if she was going to tackle the open water swim because she came into CrossFit diagnosed with invasive melanoma and actually had surgery to remove it on her back earlier this summer. Chose not to have stitches because it would have knocked her out of training for several weeks. Said, no, I can't miss training. Left the wound open. So she was afraid of the open water swim. She actually told us she couldn't do an open water swim as recently as a couple of weeks ago, but bandaged that thing up, went out there, swam, came in 16th, and now trying to make some moves on something that's in her wheelhouse here on a chipper with some gymnastics, and she is, in fact, one of the first on that side of the floor to get to the deadlifts.
Number of stories coming in of overcoming adversity right across every age division. We're not just talking the older masters divisions, we're even talking the 16, 17-year-old teenagers who are overcoming injuries or illness or something like that and coming in and just performing exceptionally well regardless of what's happening.
She is cancer-free now too, by the way, so cap that story on that happy note. Fought through it, persevered. This is how much this means to her, too. The way that the CrossFit Games kind of serves as a motivating factor for a lot of these people that have gone through injuries, gone through sicknesses, illnesses, and in some ways have used CrossFit to help get them back in shape and get them back to a place they want to be. Stephanie Roy onto the bike. First one there. Stephanie Roy is just having a nice, cool bike ride. The same can be said down for Lauren Nielsen in lane 6. finding a good pace here. This is an apparatus many of these athletes likely do not have a ton of experience on. The assault bike is the more common biking tool used in CrossFit. They are a little bit different, obviously. The assault bike uses the upper body. This will mimic more of a true road bike in that your hands are stationary. You can lean forward on the handles. It's easier to stand and ride if you need to.
Now, interesting that Stephanie, just near her left knee, you'll see the damper setting.
Way high.
That's on 10. I got to test this a little while ago. Set it on 10 for 5 cals, 10 at 5 for 5 cals, and then at 1 for 5 calories. And that 10 was pretty miserable. But I knocked out about 15 cals in about 30 seconds. Now, very dissimilar to the assault bike where you can actually strap your feet in and get that upward pull to get the hamstrings engaged. With the concept to bike erg, it's just a push down with that quad as best you can and get that balance through that toe and that heel as best you can to get those calories ticking over. And she's sitting at around 1,000 calories per hour, which is the big number right in the center of the screen, which is a pretty good rate considering that damper setting is on 10. Apologies, it's way low.
It's interesting to catch. There's a couple of markers there.
I was wondering why she was cycling so quick on number 10. I was going, she's out of her mind that she's going that quick.
She had it on
That
3.
makes me feel a whole lot better. There I am feeling quite inadequate.
That's Jen Dieter on the left of your screen. Legging it out here with Stephanie Roy. Dieter, a 4-time Games veteran, swimmer in college, diver at the University of Virginia, Wahoo Wah. Shout out, by the way, while we have a chance on Jen Dieter, to her 11-year-old, Dylan. This is the thing about this age division. All of these athletes, not only CrossFitters, they're also mothers, wives, they've got jobs in the real world. Like, the fact that they can do this and compete at this level is incredible. One of the notes that Jen told us is that her son Dylan taught her how to do all of the dances from Fortnite, which is a game that the kids play. I didn't know there were dances involved, but she has done the Orange Justice dance, and as mothers often do, try to embarrass their children.
Of course, that's what you do as a parent. That is your main job. Jen Dieter was very quick off those handstands as well. A little bit slower on those deadlifts, but making up a lot of ground. Stephanie Roy, we know she's got a fairly big engine. And now she has got a lot of company. So this battle for the event win is going to be tight. Now Stephanie's standing up on her burpees as she jumps over the bar, opening those hips fully. So you don't need to do that. Martinez to the right of screen in the pink and blue, staying a little bit lower. And guess who? Kelly Friel on the left, staying really low.
The more you glide, the quicker you will move.
The quicker you will get rid of 60 burpees and you can stop doing burpees.
Is the motivation in this to win the event or to stop doing burpees?
Get your burpees done fast and then just get the 60 done, regardless of what happens. It's not pleasant. But the way this event is structured, I've started off with a gymnastics movement. They've moved into a weightlifting movement. And in the back end, both are monostructural movements, the bike and the burpees over the bar. So pretty much the trinity of CrossFit programming, weightlifting, gymnastics, and monostructural movements, all in play.
You just saw Stephanie Roy move that bar forward, advancing it after 30 reps. So she has 28 burpees left to go. Leading the pack here, she is the only one on to her final 30 burpees. Stephanie Roy coming into the event in second place. She stands 16 points behind Kelly Friel immediately to her left. The difference between first and second is 10. The difference between first and third is 20. So Friel will maintain the lead if Roy wins and she is second. Roy will pass her if Friel comes in third. 8 minutes gone by. We are halfway through this 16-minute chipper. And the bar has now rolled forward for Friel. Although it also has for Jessica Martinez, who is in 4th place and to the right of Stephanie Roy. In the blue trunks just came into that top box. Martina Novelli on the bottom in the black and white.
Just have a look at speed of movement. I said get the burpees done as quick as possible. Now Novelli spending a lot of time upright. She'll drop down to the ground pretty well. She'll get to her feet and then she will step 2 steps before she jumps. She's delaying that inevitable pain. Whereas Martinez, right of screen in the pink and blue, not wasting any time. Straight to ground, straight to feet, straight over the bar.
Stephanie Roy, a win! Will she be your leader heading into the final day? Martinez and Friel fighting for second, fighting for 90 points. Friel's lead was 16. If she comes in third, Roy has caught her by 20 points. Hand in the air for Martinez. It's not for Friel. Jessica Martinez in 4th place overall, looking for a podium position. Also a hand in the air, way down in lane 22. This is getting tight. Martinez is in second. Roy is your overall leader. And a 3rd place finish way down in lane 20 for Melissa Wistrom. That's a 1st and a 3rd for her today here at the Age Group Pavilion. And Friel finally is in. Nielsen besting her as well. That is 5th place for Kelly Friel. Roy has flipped back into the overall lead. Erin Carter, she finishes, making her first individual performance as a master at this year's games. Was your top seed coming in. Joey Kimden finished as well. Perspective for you two, by the way. Time in the top left corner, almost 11 minutes. The time cap. So CrossFit said, you should be able to finish this in 16 minutes. Even if you finish 20th in this event, you have still looked at CrossFit and said, well, beat that number. Yeah. That's how good these athletes are.
It's like acing a test. You've got an hour to do this test and you do it in 30 minutes.
Novelli, despite that upright stature on her burpees, able to crush it in an 11:20.
Very quick on the deadlifts as well, and very quick on the bike.
Lane 18, Ida Keplinger done. There's a sprint for Cruz. And you can see, we mentioned earlier, on her back, that open wound all bandaged up.
We did notice it during the swim as well. When she came out, she had this like whole body wrap thing happening as she came out of the water.
Fighting for her CrossFit goal dreams. CrossFit dreams goals.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Here's Shannon O'Dell.
Well underneath that 16-minute time cap. And Shannon only has a handful of reps remaining. And that'll do it for Shannon O'Dell.
And again, in well under the 16-minute time cap. Even though you come in 20th, you beat what they thought you would do it in by a wide margin.
Because they obviously go away and they test these events on people of this age division to see how they go.
Oh, yeah. There's a reason. It's not an arbitrary number.
They just pick a number out of it.
Stephanie Roy, though, blew that cap number to smithereens, and she's back in the overall lead.
Handstand push-ups to start the age group chipper, only 30. But Stephanie getting through the deadlifts quicker than anybody else and off the bike as quick as she got on it. Burpees, nice and fast, nice and efficient. And that is the first event win for Stephanie Roy, and super pumped.
Stephanie Roy is back in the overall lead, and with our Nikki Brazier.
Stephanie, you took the lead early, and this type of a win could drastically shake up the leaderboard and put you on top. Is that something that you were thinking about going in?
No, I just want it so bad that I gone the faster I can and not looking everywhere and just did my job.
It worked. It definitely worked. We saw you take the title last year in the 35 to 39 division. Now that you're in a new division, is there more pressure to win again?
No. Since the beginning of the season, I thought that going to the game, it's a new season and everybody can win. So I try to go hard every event and doing all the weekend. It's my first CrossFit event win.
That's right.
So I'm going to enjoy it for 10 minutes.
That's right. And then the work begins. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nikki. That win for Stephanie Roy, unofficially putting her back atop the leaderboard in this 40 to 44 age division, and she does it by 57 seconds.
But she's only going to enjoy it for 10 minutes. Back to work, back to recovery. There's a whole day tomorrow to get through. But Jessica Martinez doing all the right stuff. Melissa Wistrom, you mentioned earlier about what a great day on Saturday. They normally call regionals Saturday moving day. This hasn't been any different. And Kelly Frill back in 5th, so she will still hang around that top 5.
Wistrom will likely move into, again unofficially, top 10 positioning heading into the final day because of her 2 top 3 finishes. Kick it up another age group. We're coming back with the ladies 45 to 49 next. Madison, Wisconsin is the site of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. Fans milling around outside the Coliseum. Vendor Village is to your left. We are inside the age group pavilion. Bringing you Masters action. The women's division, ages 45 to 49, event number 9. Back inside after heading outside for event 8, an open water swim. Jeremy Austin, Joel Godet, glad to have you along with us. Nikki Brazier down on the field will be with us here shortly. Amanda Allen coming into this division with a goal to demolish the field. Amanda Allen has done her best to do just that. 678 points and a first place overall standing over the Canadian Jolene Undershoot, who actually has an equal amount of event wins.
Correct. Amanda Allen has been quite dominant. She did call her shot early and she's followed through with it pretty well. But Tonya Osborne, 2 third-place finishes at the games in this division, looking to try and close the gap. And Jolene Undershoot, what a great results she's had over the last couple of days.
Event number 9 is the age group chipper.
We have got 30 deficit handstand push-ups. The ladies with a 3-inch deficit. 40 deadlifts at 155 pounds, or around 70